The Journey of John, a story of faith and overcoming. John was a simple man of 36 years, born and raised in a medium-sized town. Son of a middle-class family, he learned early the value of honest work and faith. His parents always taught him the importance of never giving up, even in the face of difficulties. Life is not always easy, John, but God never abandons us, his mother, Mary, would often say. And in every difficult situation, he would remember these words. John graduated in business administration from a public university, and shortly after graduating, he got a job at a small company in the town. The salary wasn't high, but he managed to support his family, which included his wife, Anna, and their 2 young children, as well as save a little to realize his dream of opening his own business. Anna always believed in his potential and supported his projects no matter how small they were. The beginning of difficulties after years of dedicated work, the company where John worked underwent a merger, and as a result, several employees were laid off, including him. That was a hard blow, as he had never been without a job and had family responsibilities. Sitting at the kitchen table with a resignation letter in his hands, he reflected on the uncertain future. "John, we'll get through this," Anna said, putting her hand on his shoulder with an encouraging smile. "You've always worked so hard, and I'm sure something good will come." Although Anna tried to reassure him, John felt pressured. His savings were quickly running out, and the pile of bills was growing. He began to doubt himself. Did I do something wrong? Should I have taken that other job last year? The questions circled in his mind, and the lack of answers weighed on him. However, when the thoughts became too heavy, he remembered his mother's and Anna's words, which always encouraged him to believe that better days would come. In a moment of despair, John distanced himself from everyone, feeling powerless in the face of the situation. He began walking around the town, observing others while feeling an increasing sense of loneliness. How do they all continue with their normal lives? He wondered. Every smile he saw seemed like a reminder of what he no longer had. Testing faith desperate to find a solution, John started dedicating his hours to job hunting, sending resumes to various companies and attending interviews. However, the months passed, and the responses continued to be negative. The situation at home began to get tense. His children felt the impact, as Anna and he could no longer provide the small joys they once did. John wondered how God could allow such a distressing situation. When he shared his concerns with Anna, he heard her say, with eyes full of confidence, "John, faith is not a guarantee that things will always be easy. Faith is what gives us strength to keep going even when everything seems lost." These words touched John deeply. He decided, then, to seek comfort in his faith. He started attending church more often and joining prayer groups where he found people who were also facing challenges. It was in one of these meetings that he met Mrs. Martha, a simple woman with gray hair and a contagious joy who, despite living with financial difficulties, radiated hope. "My son," she said in one of their conversations, "sometimes God puts us in difficult situations to teach us important lessons. It may seem strange, but these challenges are ways to grow. Trust because He never abandons us." Mrs. Martha's words touched John's heart, and for the first time in a long time, he began to see the difficulties with different eyes. He felt that something inside him was changing. It was no longer just anguish and anxiety. There was something more, a sense that he was not alone in this fight. The conversations with Mrs. Martha and the support of the prayer group began to rekindle in John the flame of faith. He started to see every obstacle as an opportunity to strengthen his spirit, and gradually the anxiety gave way to a quiet confidence that somehow he would find a way. One afternoon, while walking through the town in search of new opportunities, John passed by a small candy shop that was for sale. The smell of sugar and cinnamon brought back memories of his childhood when he helped his grandmother prepare sweets to sell at the markets. He remembered with affection the patience and love with which she cooked, always saying that faith was present in every recipe. The idea struck him like lightning. Perhaps he could invest the little that remained of his savings to open his own candy shop. He knew the risk was high, but he felt in his heart that this was the path God was showing him. His instinct and his faith were stronger than the fear. When he shared the idea with Anna, she listened carefully and replied, "John, I trust you. If you believe this is what you should do, I will be by your side no matter what happens." Anna's trust gave him the strength to take the next step. Even with the uncertainty, John knew the decision was right. "If God is guiding me, I can't hesitate," he thought. The candy shop John bought the small shop and began transforming it into a welcoming place, using every resource carefully. He woke up early to source the freshest ingredients and spent the day preparing sweets and cakes, resurrecting his grandmother's traditional recipes. Anna helped him with the shop's decor and on social media, where they shared the story behind each sweet and the love with which they were made. At first, sales were modest, and many times John felt discouraged. "Did I do the right thing, Anna?" he asked one night as he closed the books for the month, which once again didn't balance. Anna, always steady, replied, "John, you're on the right path. Every customer who comes into the shop leaves smiling. That means a lot. Keep believing." Anna's love and the strength of her faith were what sustained John in the hard days. Even on nights when he felt the weight of exhaustion and doubt, he knew he had by his side the person who believed in him the most. One of those nights, while John arranged the sweets in the display case, he looked at Anna and said, "I never thought I would get this far, Anna. All the struggle, all the pain. It feels like we're so far from those days of anguish." Anna smiled and replied, "I knew it, John. I knew you had something special inside of you. Faith has always been with us, and I'll be by your side no matter what happens." The growth John decided to innovate and began posting pictures of his sweets on social media, telling the stories and life lessons he had learned from each recipe. The authenticity of his story began to attract the attention of people from the town and even from other places. Soon, the shop became known not only for its sweets, but for the experience and care John gave to his customers. However, challenges still remained. The work was exhausting, and he still couldn't hire employees. But even on the most tiring days, he remembered the words of Mrs. Martha and his mother, "God never abandons us." He felt that something bigger was guiding him and giving him strength to continue. It was during this time that he began to see the importance of every detail. John knew that his work went far beyond selling sweets. Every customer who entered his shop felt the touch of his dedication. People weren't just buying sweets, they were taking home a life story. The warmth of the candy shop, the smell of fresh cakes, and the attentive service made everyone feel special. But success did not come without its ups and downs. John had to face many unforeseen issues, problems with suppliers, financial struggles, and even moments of doubt about the quality of his products. But in every situation, he remembered what his mother always told him: "It doesn't matter how many times you fall. John, what matters is getting up." The success over time, John's shop became a landmark. He managed to hire employees and expand the menu, including new recipes, always keeping the personal touch. The shop grew so much that, within a few years, he was able to open a second location. The business thrived and financial stability finally returned. John never forgot the path he had taken. He knew that, without faith, he would not have overcome the difficult moments. All the pain, despair, and doubt gave way to gratitude and the understanding that, no matter how challenging life may be, faith is the force that sustains us. The moral of the story: John became an inspiration to many in the community. Reflecting on his journey, he would tell everyone that success was, above all, proof that we must trust in God, even when the circumstances seem adverse. He understood that, although faith didn't guarantee a life without problems, it gave strength to overcome them. His story reminded everyone that, in the end, everything aligns for the good of those who believe. He knew his journey hadn't been easy, but every stage was necessary for the growth of his faith and life. Today, he shares his story with young and old, encouraging them never to give up, for life always has something new to offer those who keep the faith. His candy shop was no longer just a place of sales, but a true temple of overcoming, where every piece of cake carried not just sugar and flour, but also the sweet lesson that, with faith and perseverance, everything is possible.